Hi, second grade. Today I am going to read your Day 9 article, What Eats What in the Wild? Depends on the ecosystem. There are a lot of tricky vocabulary words, so I am going to underline them as we go so we can make sure we go back to them when we answer questions. The food chain describes what eats what in the wild. All living things need food. This gives living things energy. This chain shows how animals are connected to each other. The food chain helps make up an ecosystem. This could be in a forest or grassland. It might even be in the ocean. Living things in food chains are split into groups. These are called trophic levels. I'm going to underline trophic levels because that's the first time I'm hearing that, and I know we're going to learn more about it. Trophic levels are split into 3 groups. First, there are producers. This is the first trophic level. Then there are consumers. They make up the second, third, and fourth trophic levels. Finally, there are decomposers. In image 2, I see arrows connecting an example of a land food chain, showing which animals and plants are connected by what they eat. Plants are producers. Producers are often autotrophs. I'm going to underline that word also because I've never heard that vocabulary word before, and we're going to learn about it now. Autotrophs, there are autotrophs all around you. Most autotrophs are plants. Trees, moss, and grasses are all autotrophs. This means they make their own food. They do this with help from the sun. They take the sun, soil, air, and water. Then they use it to make glucose. Glucose is a nutrient. Autotrophs make up the first level of every food chain. Think about what you last ate. Was it a plant? If it wasn't, then think about what that animal last ate. It might have been a plant. There are many kinds of autotrophs. Plants are just one example. Algae is another. Larger algae are what we call seaweed. Phytoplankton are tiny beings that live in the ocean. They are autotrophs too. Primary consumers and predators. The second trophic level is made up of living things that eat the producers. These are called primary consumers or herbivores. I'm going to underline that word, herbivore. Deer are herbivores. Turtles and many birds are herbivores. Secondary consumers eat herbivores. Tertiary consumers eat the secondary consumers. There may be more levels of consumers after this. Then a chain reaches its top predator. These predators eat other consumers. Consumers can be carnivores. Let me underline that word, carnivore. This means they eat other animals. They can also be omnivores. Let me underline that word too. We have herbivores, carnivores, and now let's learn about omnivores. In other words, they eat both plants and animals. Omnivores eat many types of food. People are omnivores. We eat plants, such as vegetables and fruits. We also eat animals and animal products. Meat, milk, and egg are examples. I see in image 3 that there are animals that live in the ocean connected by arrows, showing who eats who. Decomposers return nutrients to soil. Detritivores and decomposers are the final part of food chains. Let me underline this word, detritivores. Detritivores eat non-living plant and animal remains. For example, vultures eat dead animals. Dung beetles eat animal poop. Fungi and bacteria are decomposers. Decomposers is another word that I'm going to underline. Bacteria are tiny living things. Fungi are living things too. Like bacteria, they are not animals. They are not plants either. Mushrooms are examples of fungi. Decomposers complete the cycle of life. They return nutrients to the soil or oceans. Then autotrophs use these nutrients. This starts a whole new food chain. Where the food chain is. There are many different habitats and ecosystems. Each provide many possible food chains. Altogether, these chains make up a food web. In one underwater food chain, phytoplankton provide food for krill. These are tiny shrimp. Krill are the main food for the blue whale. The whale is on the third trophic level. Imagine a grassland ecosystem. A grasshopper might eat grass, a producer. The grasshopper might get eaten by a rat. This is then swallowed by a snake.